X-Men 97 just dropped today, and I watched all 3 episodes. And man, I am so glad X-Men is back, and I'm so glad they dropped 3 episodes as opposed to just one, because it would have left me wanting more and more immediately. I am going to get into spoilers because I just want to talk about all the cool things that happened. So in each of the 3 episodes we got, they were pretty different from each other. So in the first episode, we get Cyclops and Jean Grey essentially raising Cable, Nathan Summers, for just a small period of time, teaching him how to be a soldier, how to be an X-Men, how to be a savior for all of mankind, because that's what we need him to do. We get a nice heart-to-heart pep talk from the parents, Cyclops and Jean Grey, telling Nathan Summers what he needed to hear to really hone in on his power and become stronger so that he can become what we know is Cable in the future to fight Apocalypse as many times as he needs to. And we get some tiebacks to that episode in the following episode where we see adult Cable doing his missions and looking back at his childhood and that time that he spent with his parents. And I also liked how it opened up with Bishop and Forge together building that time machine and using it just like what we saw in the Days of Future Past episodes in the original X-Men animated show. Savage Wolverine with his new look and bone claws was absolutely awesome to see. The second episode was by far the most exciting for me. We get X-Force and X-Factor in the same episode, talking about the dichotomy between the two. X-Force being kind of your Black Ops underground crew that's trying to do their mission, but then you have the government-sanctioned X-Factor that's trying to stop them, so you get a nice battle between the two, X-Force versus X-Factor, which was just absolutely amazing to see. And although this was a different roster of X-Force than I'm used to seeing, it worked really well. You got Jubilee and Sunspot being recruited. You already have Psylocke and Archangel part of the team with Cable. But once they get their training together, they very much operate like a well-oiled machine. And I like how we get glimpses of them in civilian clothes. Cable had like regular pants and a hat because he was trying to disguise himself and not be so conspicuous. And then later you get Jubilee with her longer hair, and you get a scene where they're talking to Emma Frost, and she's wearing like a traditional Chinese gown, and she's got the very Asian kind of haircut. And I just love that. It just makes them more human to see them in different contexts and different outfits, and to see them evolve over time, as opposed to in the cartoon where they're kind of wearing the same clothes all the time. They have the same look throughout the whole series. But it's great to get that little bit of variety to show different sides of them. Speaking of Jubilee, we get this awesome jail breakout scene, and she just really gets a chance to shine with her powers being on full display, her training kicking in and showing her ability to fight. I mean, she was doing arm bars and jujitsu and all kinds of really awesome moves. So that was really cool to see Jubilee, who's kind of always portrayed as the younger, almost damsel in distress or one of the weaker powered characters. So it was great to give her a chance to really showcase her abilities and to show her progress as well. She's not the same little girl that we met in episode 1 of the original series. She's come a long way. We get some pretty stunning action from Psylocke beating up on all the different multiple men and just really showcasing her fighting ability as well. We see Sunspot and Jubilee's relationship developing, which is kind of a cute teenage romance. And of course, Sunspot gets his comic accurate suit finally, which is such a better look than his casual look in the first season. And when that intro came on, when they changed out all the characters and even changed the text to say X-Force as opposed to X-Men, that just blew my mind, because it's so refreshing to see all the different characters and all the different scenes that they wove in for that special intro for this episode. And I just love that they constantly change the introduction so that it fits whatever's going on in that particular episode, or adding additional character cards as they progress and add more characters that have more a bigger role in the show. So to see the X-Force version, very familiar format, obviously, because it's the same format, same music, but completely swapped out with the X-Force team. I mean, that just made me jump out of my seat and cheer. It was so fun. And then you got episode 3 where we're in ancient Egypt and we visit with Magneto, Professor X, Beast, and the rest of the crew, but how they're dealing with this young Apocalypse who hasn't become Apocalypse yet, right? So it's that whole dilemma of like, if you could go back in time and kill Adolf Hitler when he was still a baby, would you do it? Except here, Magneto is actually trying to do something even better, which is to convert him and change him and to instill some humanity in Apocalypse so that he doesn't become the monster that he later becomes. And maybe that's the best way to neutralize the threat rather than just try to kill him. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out, right? So it backfires, and Magneto was wrong in this instance, unfortunately. But I still love the idea that he thought he could change Apocalypse and change the course of history, and that being a debate between him and Professor X as to whether that was the right path or not. And it was very heartbreaking because you kind of rooted for Apocalypse to become a good guy and to change, but in the end, it didn't work out because he felt betrayed when he found the evidence, the physical evidence that they were keeping these secrets from him, and he just went full on bloodbath at the end before Bishop came and essentially saved the day. So that was really good storytelling to me. That was good writing, and that was the biggest thing I was afraid of with the changes in the writers, that they wouldn't keep the magic of season 1. But based on these 3 episodes, they absolutely did. Still has the same excitement and charm, and most importantly, excellent writing and storytelling as we saw in the last season. And I'm hopeful that all the other episodes are going to be just as good, and we're just getting started. And I love the format that is all split up into different timelines and different groups and different teams. So you have multiple plots essentially going on at the same time, which keeps it pretty exciting as opposed to just a linear and chronological storytelling. If you've seen it, let me know what your thoughts are. I was very pumped to watch these first 3 episodes. I'm going to be very excited to watch every week for the new episode drop, and have full confidence yet again that this is going to be one of the better shows that Marvel has produced. And as a long-standing X-Men fan from watching the original and collecting the original action figures, this is such a treat to revisit that world and that version of X-Men. And I'm really looking forward to what they do in the movies. But regardless of whether we like what they do with X-Men in Doomsday or other projects after Doomsday, at the very least, we have this extremely solid animated form of X-Men. So I'm grateful that we have that. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Were you also excited? What'd you think of that X Factor intro? I mean, that was just peak X-Men stuff for me. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm sure you did. But let me know in the comments what your favorite moments were. And we'll talk to you next time.